Okay guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over how to break through fat loss plateaus. Big topic, everybody wants to know, and everybody runs into this at some point during their training, dieting, health career. But first of all, why should you even listen to me? My name is Max Rogers. I own a coaching company called Maxar Coaching, where I've helped nearly 500 people do exactly this and break through plenty of fat loss plateaus. So let's dive in. First things first, if you're in a fat loss plateau, I'm guessing you're already kind of set up with your dieting, you're already following some sort of plan, you're already following some sort of training plan, you've lost a little bit of weight, had some success, and you've run into a wall and you can't seem to break that wall down. First thing I'll say, if you're not tracking, you make it very hard to progress. If we know what we're eating, then we can make the changes needed. Now, first things first, okay, we need our deficit, okay? And if you're not losing weight, you're not in a deficit. So that's the first thing. Now, there's many different ways to break through this. Now, what a lot of people do straight away when their weight stalls is, I'm gonna drop my calories down. I'm eating too much food. Well, I'm gonna do a no carb weekend. Well, I'm gonna fast for 24 hours. And you hear all this crazy stuff. Just chill, my guys, just chill. The last thing you want to do, in my opinion, in a fat loss phase or in a diet, when your body stalls, is slash your calories. It is the last resort. It is at the bottom of the list of things to do. And let me explain. We have our training, okay? So you have output and you have input. Output, strength training, cardio, hit or list, steps, NEAT. Then you have input, calories, okay, and only calories. Everyone just says, oh, my weight's not dropping, let's just drop my calories down. Let's put myself in a deeper hole, let's create loads of hunger, let's starve myself, and let's hope that I can stick it out for the next 2 years. Of course not. You will crash and burn. You'll end up eating a lot of food, your weight comes back up, you then drop, your weight comes back up, and you end up yo-yo dieting in this vicious cycle where your weight just does that, except it kind of does that and always gets higher and higher and higher over time. So the right thing to do, in my opinion, is first of all, know what you are doing. There's so many different things we can do. First things first, let's talk about strength training. You should, if you're trying to lose fat or get yourself into shape, be following a training plan. And you use Google Maps and you see exactly how, you know exactly how you're gonna get there, how long it's gonna take, the quickest route to get there, the slower routes, what things to avoid. When you're training, guys, we should be strength training. I've done 1,050 million videos on this. Why? Because it's going to help us build muscle, it's going to help us increase our metabolism or keep it firing, if you will. And there's so many benefits, okay, to resistance training. This is for men and this is for women. First things first, when your body weight stalls in a fat loss phase, we want to try and increase our output, okay? So if you're training, how can you push it harder? Can you push those sets to failure? Let's make sure you're following a program and let's try and progress it. Let's try and lift more load. Let's try and do more sets. Let's try and add intensifiers in, some drop sets, some supersets. All of these sort of movements, heavy presses, heavy pulls. That's gonna allow us to build more muscle. It's gonna stop us from plateauing. The next thing, okay, is cardio. If you are already training very hard and your weight loss has plateaued, let's look at our cardio. Are you doing cardio in the first place? This is why we track cardio. This is why as a coach, I track everything and I'm able to make little adjustments to help people keep chipping away until they get to their end destination. If you are doing no cardio, you're gonna go to 20 minutes 3 times a week. By doing this, without touching your input, without touching your calories, you will start to drop again. Okay, if you're already doing 20 minutes 3 times a week, you can do 30 minutes 3 times a week, or 4 times 20 minutes, or 5 times 20 minutes. Or you can keep it the same at 3 times 20 minutes. But if your heart rate's at 130 beats per minute, let's take it to 140 beats per minute. If you're doing a power walk, 20 minutes 3 times a week, let's take it to a jog. Let's move to a Stairmaster. Let's go to a rowing machine. By doing this, we keep things the same, but we increase the amount of calories burned in those 20 minutes, fat loss plateau fixed, weight starts to move. If you're going from low intensity steady state cardio, maybe we could add some intervals in. Maybe once or twice a week, we could add in some sprints, maybe 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off on a spin bike or on a cross trainer, Or maybe we could do some rowing intervals, some 500-meter intervals with a minute's rest in between. Start at 5 rounds, move up to 10 rounds over time. All of this gets you leaner without having to reduce calories. See how we've just left input over here? I'm not touching it, okay? I've gone strength training, I've gone cardio. Steps, if you're doing 5,000 steps a day, 7 days a week, let's take it to 8,000 steps a day. If you're doing 8,000 steps a day, let's take it to 10,000 steps a day. Again, the third of our outputs that we can increase without touching our calories that will all break through this plateau. And guys, we can do one and then change the next one after 2 weeks and the next one after 4 weeks. We don't have to do them all at the same time. We have things like NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. As you are losing weight, things start to slow down. You start to talk like this, you don't move as much. The body doesn't want to move. When I'm fidgeting and I'm talking to you, I'm on the ball and I'm burning calories. It doesn't seem like a big deal now in this 10-minute video, but if I'm up 16 hours a day moving, it's a pretty big deal. It's a huge amount of calories burned in a day. So these sort of things can all be looked at. I guarantee you, if you're trying to lose body fat and you're not tracking your steps over time without you even realizing they will come down, all of these things come into play. Track your steps, track your cardio, track your training, progress them all over time, okay? Only when you feel like you've maxed these guys out and you're doing a lot and you think, oh, I'm already doing a fair bit, then you move to your calories and you drop them down. And you're only looking at maybe a 200 to a 250 calorie decrease, okay? And it comes from carbohydrates and fats. You do not touch your protein from day one. If anything, your protein goes up over time. So you have your 3 different outputs we can increase: steps, cardio, training, and only then do you decrease calories. So we now know that you're gonna hit multiple fat loss plateaus in this 12, 16, 20-week journey, depending on how much body fat you had to begin with. And you can literally manipulate these as you wish. When we say fat loss plateau, we're thinking 10 to 14 days where your weight has not budged. If you're a girl and you've hit your menstrual cycle and you go up half a kilo overnight, don't just slash your calories, okay? We need to have made sure we've actually plateaued. So that's why tracking is important. If you get to, 10 days in and you think, right, I'm not budging here. I've been stuck for nearly 2 weeks now. Think to yourself, right, I need to stick to this long term. So what can I drop? Maybe I'll pull food down this week, I'll give it a couple of weeks. Next week I'll increase my steps, give it a couple of weeks. Then I'll increase my cardio, give it a couple of weeks. Then I'm gonna add some intensifiers to my training, give it a couple of weeks. Then I'm gonna do steps again, and only then am I gonna drop food. You don't just say, right, it's been 10 days, I haven't lost any weight, fuck it, I'm gonna do a 7-day water fast because that's a huge deficit. Those are the people that end up fatter than they ever started. Calories drop as a last resort. If you go into your fat loss phase with this approach, I guarantee you'll have more long-term success because we need to eat. We need to feel full. All right, I could ramble on for hours as well, but I'm gonna leave it here. So if you like this video, guys, please like it, subscribe, all that fun stuff. If you want me to answer any questions, please just leave them in the comments below or drop me a DM on Instagram and I'll keep filming them.